Hi guys, Louis in the UK. So, welcome to Defending Elvis. A little bit tired today. Don't really know why. Could it be that I had that Greg's? I did have a Greg's. I had a sausage roll and I had a steak bake. Maybe it's messed with my system, man. Because normally I'm just meat, eggs and fish and omelettes. Got a coffee to try and wake me up. Right. So I want to rush into it because I'm sort of got to go soon. But thank you, guys. At the moment, come on, everyone's talking about this. The new war of the worlds. That's what I'm calling it. The new war of the worlds. Forget Tom Cruise. This is people like Donna Presley, Ginger Oldham, that are now challenging, disagreeing with what Priscilla is saying in her book, that allegedly was only about life after Elvis. It turns out it wasn't just about life after Elvis, was it? There's much more to it. She seems to be doing the rounds with these American interviews so far in America. To me, it comes across like Priscilla's trashing her own daughter, making excuses for Priscilla's behavior, for her own behavior. Of course, taking no responsibility for the wrongdoing of the last 50 years. Nothing. No apologies. I don't, obviously I haven't read it. I've read bits of it. I've been sent loads of stuff. I know quite a lot about this book already. Loads of you guys have been helping me, but I need some more water in my coffee. But let me just get some more water in my coffee, guys. But come on, guys. Priscilla portrays herself as a perfect angel that has done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong, Tino. Now that can't be right. How can you live a life of 50 years and take no personal responsibility for any mistakes that you've ever made? How is that normal? I ain't falling for it. So, now, Aaron, the guy who runs this Scientology channel, I have watched him before. I have reviewed his channel before. It's called Growing Up in Scientology. He feels that Priscilla has finally quit Scientology. Quite a few of you have sent this to me to review, so I just thought, I don't really know much about Scientology. I'm probably going to learn something now. So, sod it. Let's press play. Let's learn something. I haven't watched this. This is the first time I've watched it. I'm sure you guys will find it interesting because, let's face it, the Scientology topic is a hot potato. Many of you have very strong views. Elvis fans, 100% have strong views. Now, Lisa Marie has said that Scientology sometimes was very good for her, but she also wanted out. She quit the whole thing. I think Riley and Benjamin grew up in Scientology. I think they have a lot of friends in Scientology. I've been told Priscilla still has a lot of very important friends in Scientology. I also have been told that Lisa Marie was very angry at, is it David? I can't say his name. And wanted to challenge him face on. I think Priscilla in the book has said that Lisa did challenge him face to face, but then other reports are saying it wasn't him, it was his sisters. Yeah. So I don't know. Put it in the comments, guys. Remember, I'm not a researcher. I don't know everything. I do get my facts wrong. And many of you guys are researchers and you get your facts spot on. So put me right. If I make a mistake, if I say something that's incorrect, put me right. I'm just a fan in his kitchen chatting about Elvis that wants to defend Elvis, Lisa, and the bloodline. So please don't think I'm an expert. I certainly am not. Okay, guys, let's press play. Let's go from there.
For this day, for Priscilla herself, in her own words, to publicly announce she is no longer a Scientologist. Thank you, Priscilla.
So don't forget, on a recent interview a few days ago, she made it clear that Lisa had left. I think she was sort of saying she had left as well, I think. But she also praised it. She praised Scientology, said it did some good. In her own book, we read out a section. Actually, should I quickly... let's have a look. Was it page 234? Where I think it's an attempt... Obviously, this book here, Softly As I Leave You, everyone's talking about it. Of course they are. It's just come out. Let's see if it is that page. It was Karen, Donna Presley's assistant, sent me it. Okay. I just want to say, Donna Presley is releasing a defending video today, challenging Priscilla. Yeah, she messaged me middle of the night. I get a few messages. I'm going to do a video. I'm not happy with the things that Priscilla is saying in these interviews in her book concerning Elvis's prescription medication. I think there's a few things said about Gladys. I think there's a few things said by Priscilla where she tries to blame Elvis for things. Well, Donna Presley is not going to go along with it. She's going to challenge her. Elvis can't defend himself. Elvis can't disagree with Priscilla and challenge Priscilla. So Donna wants to be a defender as well as run an amazing YouTube channel. An amazing YouTube channel. So is this the one? Let's have a look. There we are. Yeah. So somehow Priscilla is trying to use any excuse to belittle the book From Here to the Great Unknown. Guys, it does feel like this book has been forgotten, which is just terrible, because Lisa put all her thoughts and words onto tapes that Riley Keough then went on to finish this book. Priscilla was removed from the cover of this book, I believe, my opinion, on purpose. Just my opinion, guys. So she basically says, let me just see what she said in this book. It was near the end. Oh, and there we are. Her drug usage climbed as high as 80 pills. Now, someone has messaged me saying that Lisa mentioned the 80 pills in the book From Here to the Great Unknown. I don't remember it, but if someone has said that to me, it must be true. So the 80 pills thing is bloody shocking. Desperate to keep her girls, she lived in a tornado of drug-fueled emotions. Remember, this is Priscilla's words. With no relief in sight. Tina, do you want me to do that? Tina, let me do it here. Bring it here. He's trying to open a banana. I can do it for you. You all right? Tell me if you want my help. You be careful. Sorry, guys. So she then goes, she no longer had the release of the auditions sessions that Scientology had once provided for her. So she's straight away saying that the help of Scientology, the auditing sessions, get the wording right, that Scientology had once provided for her. So she's sort of saying, oh, if you hadn't have left Scientology, you would have been happier. You needed the auditing sessions to vent, to relieve some of your frustration. So that Scientology had once provided for her, though she had left the church, she retained some of its beliefs, including the distrust of psychologists. She was still opposed to therapy, which would have given her a potential outlet for her feelings. Okay, it was near the end of this period that she began recording the tapes that would be transcribed and edited for her autobiography. Come on, guys. It was a way for her to feel that she had a voice and to release some of her fear, anger, and despair that enveloped her. The pain began to pour out onto her audio tapes in a mixture of memories and nightmares, and what happened and what she believed had happened. In the last-ditch effort to gain sole custody of the twins. So then this goes into a Michael Lockwood bit. But I still think she is indirectly saying she had a problem with drugs, with opioids, and while she was doing the tape, she was stoned. Yeah? So I personally think she's trying to discredit Lisa, and she's trying to discredit the book as well, From Here to the Great Unknown. So let's press play, guys.
This is incredible. This is from her new book.
Careful.
And it's weird. There's some strange contradictions here, because her book is a lot more positive on the subject of Scientology itself
Gino,
than one might expect
Sorry,
for someone who is out of Scientology. But what's also interesting to me is that Priscilla herself reflects on her relatively positive experience in Scientology, or should I also say her experience being treated well in.
Yeah, and she did do that the other day. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I was surprised she brought it up. It was very out of the blue. I thought it was pre-agreed to bring up that point. The guy, the interviewer, just it didn't seem to fit in to flow with the topics. Suddenly this was brought up, the Scientology thing. Was it intentional? What do you reckon, guys?
Scientology, and admits right from the jump that she's not saying her experience and her being treated well contradicts any other stories of any other former members of horrific abuse. She says, you know, the most obvious explanation is my time in Scientology was at the Celebrity Center, and I was a celebrity, and Scientology treats celebrities differently, and celebrities are very valuable to Scientology. So I wasn't particularly, you know, offended or surprised by Priscilla speaking relatively positively of Scientology. Not a big surprise. Also, I think it's worth noting, at least, that parents, or should I say people who got into Scientology as adults on their own volition and then brought their kids into Scientology, they do have a little bit of an incentive to tend to dwell a little bit on how good Scientology is.
Do you know what I watched somewhere? On some program that any celebrity that introduces anybody, especially other celebrities, new celebrities, into Scientology, get a commission, get money. So if you get a celebrity that invests a lot of money into Scientology, the person who introduced that celebrity gets a commission forever, a percentage of the money they invest. Is that true?
Because otherwise, how do you justify having brought your children into it? How do you justify having stayed in for so long? How do you justify having having had your kids in for so long? I think a lot of people who are second, third, fourth, fifth generation Scientologists will tell you that that tends to be a little bit of the flavor they get from their own parents. What's interesting about I'm going to show you the actual excerpts from the book. There was another interesting piece here. Oh, yeah. Priscilla gets a lot wrong in this book, even about Scientology, even about David Miscavige, but she gets it wrong in ways that are even worse for Scientology.
Okay, guys. So I've had a lot of reports. I've watched some book reviews. She's mixing and muddling up her facts. You'd think she would have fact checked everything. I've been sent some quite long, different, detailed information of different ways that Priscilla has just jumbled it all up and got it wrong. So whoever helped her put that book together, this book, didn't do a great job, guys.
Anyway, I'll show you some examples here. Now, guys, you might remember a couple years ago, I did an interview with Priscilla's son, Navarone.
I do. I did watch it.
And Navarone made it very clear that Priscilla was out of Scientology. But a lot of people had the opinion that maybe he was just out there doing PR control, that he was lying to make Priscilla look better, that, you know, Priscilla wasn't speaking for herself. So of course, Navarone would want people to think his mother was out of Scientology. Now, I knew there was no way Navarone would be allowed to say something like that on my channel if it weren't true. The other thing Navarone said
well, he says he knew, but, you know, he isn't Navarone. He isn't the Scientology. I understand this guy in the Scientology world is very, I'm on about, you know, for exposing wrongdoing is extremely important and highly respected, but he can't know it, can he? He can't like 100% know it. But okay, I get your point.
The video that we did together is that he told his mom, Priscilla, that he was coming on and doing this video with me on my channel. And she was like, oh, really?
I must admit, guys, it is surprising that he did the interview. Navarone wanted to do this.
But she didn't say don't. And so I knew Priscilla was out of Scientology. Navarone even said it. I might even show you some clips from that. But let's jump right to the section. And guys, I cannot stress this enough. Priscilla Presley would not ever, as a Scientologist, be allowed to say she was no longer a Scientologist just to do some sort of PR damage control for herself. The Scientology authorities would never, never, ever allow such a thing. Scientologists are allowed to lie about this in a few different ways. They can sort of pretend that they're not a Scientologist, but never were. So like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, they never actually publicly admitted to being Scientologists. They admitted to dabbling because we're students of all the world's religions. Total bullshit. Will and Jada were diehard dedicated Scientologists. So they sort of pretended like they never were and therefore never had to say they'd left. Scientologists
It did seem that way.
are also allowed to say, what? A Scientologist? Yes, of course. Scientology is something that I study, but I'm also a Christian. Total lie. There's no such thing as being a Scientologist and a Christian.
Now remember, this is Aaron's. I think his name's Aaron, is it? That's his opinion. He's a bit like me, isn't he? He's like very sure of himself. Stands by everything he says. Thinks he's 100% right. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is that correct? What he just said?
But if you are known to be a Scientologist or have ever known to be a Scientologist, have ever said you're a Scientologist, and you're still a Scientologist, you are not allowed to say you are no longer one. It's just like a couple weeks ago when I did a video.
Okay, I'll take his word for it. I don't know.
About Sea Org executive Charlie Bills. Charlie Bills' name was brought up in the press for being tied in to somewhat of a scandal of a Scientologist-run company called Dream Exchange in Chicago. And Charlie Bills' name came up in the story, and the reporter reached out to Charlie Bills, and Charlie Bills said, I no longer work for the Church of Scientology. Now, he didn't say I was no longer a Scientologist, but he said, I no longer work for the Church of Scientology. And I was like, what? Charlie Bills has been working for the Church of Scientology for over 45 years. And there's no way he would be allowed to say he no longer works for Scientology if that were not really true. And I said, hey, anyone out there who knows what's going on with Charlie Bills, please let me know. Well, lo and behold, we found out it was totally accurate. Charlie Bills no longer works for the Church of Scientology. So that's an example of like, I very much know what Scientologists are allowed to say and what they're not allowed to say. And if anyone is out there thinking that Priscilla Presley is just saying this because she's trying to get some distance for PR reasons, but she's really still a Scientologist, please understand that is not true. Priscilla Presley is absolutely out of Scientology. And the fact that she's now saying it herself publicly for the first time, boom, signed, sealed, and delivered. Done. That's all the evidence anybody should need. Okay, so let's jump to the most obvious version of this book where Priscilla says what she says. She's referring back to an incident where Lisa Marie Presley showed up to the Scientology base in Clearwater to have a showdown with David Miscavige. Now, David Miscavige didn't show up for the showdown. Instead, he sent his sisters like a little baby back bitch. But this is an example where Priscilla gets something wrong, but she gets it wrong in a way that's even worse for Scientology. In Priscilla's version of the story, it was David Miscavige himself who showed up for the showdown, and Lisa Marie Presley basically handed him a whole six-pack of whoop ass.
I bet she would have done. He's saying it was the sisters, yeah?
Now, the real story is David didn't show up, and Lisa Marie Presley basically had it out with Dave's sisters. But in Priscilla's version, it was Dave himself. And so that's where this particular anecdote enters in. Priscilla says, the aftermath was frightening for her, Lisa Marie. She, Lisa Marie, called me from Florida after her visit to headquarters and said, Mom, I'm so scared. I gave it to David, and now they're following me. There's black limos parked outside my house and following me around. This is real. This is what they do.
So I have read this a few times that Lisa was, I don't know if paranoid's the right word, but she seriously was worried something was not right.
When Lisa took such a firm stand against the church, it forced me to re-examine my own relationship with it. With the passage of time, I'd begun to feel increasing pressure from the church. In the early years of Scientology, the expectations for me had been moderate, but as I went up the levels on the bridge to total freedom, the demands increased exponentially. Members are expected to commit more and more time to their personal growth on the higher levels, up to 6 hours per day. Financial commitment increases too, as you're expected to help the church grow. The church must come first in your life, ahead of everything else. For a long time, I was able to cope successfully with the church's expectations. The problem I eventually confronted, though, wasn't time or money or even the church's philosophy. It was my family. The first
So, I mean, he's reading this off. You know me, guys. I'm funny about reading things off because you need copyright permission. But because he's doing it and we're reviewing it, I think we're going to be okay. So let's keep going with it. I will stop a few times, though.
consideration was Lisa. She had taken a courageous and risky stand against the church, and I wanted to support her. My parents also became an issue. Mom and dad were faithful Catholics,
See, I didn't know that. They were faithful Catholics.
and I was asked to disclose this when auditing, while doing auditing. That's funny. That's funny because Priscilla doesn't use the language the way a Scientologist would use the language. And I wonder if that's her trying to speak the way normal people would speak.
But she's always spoke the way normal people speak. I'm not. Is he saying that once you get into Scientology, you change how you speak?
Probably. Okay. Scientologists consider people who belong to other religions, especially those that are critical of Scientology, negative influences.
So I'm learning. Remember, I know nothing about Scientology.
Who might lead members away from the philosophy that Hubbard taught. To prevent that from happening, I was subtly encouraged to loosen ties with my parents.
Right. Someone's trying to ring me, but I can't answer. Right. Let's keep going.
Wow. That was not going to happen. I loved my parents deeply and had no intention of distancing myself from them. If I had to choose, I would choose my family every time. Ultimately, Lisa and I left the church about the same time. She went out with a bang and a lot of headlines. I chose to go quietly. It was hard to leave. There were things about Scientology that I loved. I still miss it sometimes. I miss the auditing. Wow. That's a frank admission. I miss the auditing, which lifted some of my burdens. And I miss being part of the community with people like John Travolta, who first got me into Scientology. John remains my friend. Not for long, Priscilla. John was allowed to remain your friend as long as you had not publicly departed Scientology. John will either stop being your friend, or perhaps your departure might be the final thing John needs to maybe start considering leaving himself. But
it's a funny one because I had a conversation about John Travolta. Who was it with? With Nicola. Hi, Nicola. Now he was a cute guy, he was in Greece and Saturday Night Fever and other stuff, Girls like him, women liked him, you know what it's like, guys. So it's very hard to link him to Scientology because to me, Scientology is just pretty nuts, pretty crazy, very odd, yeah. So it doesn't fit with cute John Travolta. Obviously, I'm talking about the image we have of him. In Greece, in Saturday Night Fever, yeah, and other things that he did that were very cute, yeah. But what I say to Nicola is sometimes we have to forget that his cuteness and his nice personality and the way he laughs and smiles and all that. We have to remember if he is a celebrity introducing people like Lisa Marie into Scientology, and then a large amount of money is invested into Scientology, people like Priscilla Presley, yeah. Everyone keeps asking, where did all her money go? She had tens of millions of dollars. Where is it? Even It's concerning, yeah. Scientology. So you have to forget how cute he is and think. I've been told that they get a percentage of the money invested into Scientology by the celebrities they introduce to Scientology. I don't know if that's true or not. I watched it on Serge Del Mar. Do you know Serge Del Mar, the YouTube channel that also exposes the wrongdoing of Scientology? So sometimes you have to put to one side that you like their film or you think they're good looking. Same goes for people like Tom Cruise, yeah? Even, who's the other one that was said to me? What's his name? The guy off Men in Black. Will Smith. Allegedly, he's a Scientologist. The point I'm trying to say, guys, is if these people are introducing well-known celebrities, children as well as people like Priscilla, you can't trust them. You can't trust them. As much as I loved John Travolta in Grease and Saturday Night Fever, I still watch it now. I love it. Yeah, takes me back in time. In fact, I watched Grease this morning. You can't trust these people that are heavily involved in Scientology, even if they're very clever and they try and distance themselves from it, even not admitting that they're part of it. I am not trusting people that are heavily involved in Scientology, especially if it's been for decades. John Travolta, Tom Cruise, they've been involved with it for decades. How long? Since the 70s? Maybe Tom Cruise, the 80s? So guys, we have to be careful. Let's keep watching.
If John is allowed to continue to remain your friend, it would just be another example of Scientology, of celebrities in Scientology being allowed to live by a completely different set of rules than any other Scientologist. Okay, she goes, John remains my friend. He was one of the first to call when my daughter passed away. I wish him well, along with the many good souls who pursue the same ideals I once hoped would help the world. Sounds like Priscilla's acknowledging that John Travolta may not be her friend anymore. Saying, I wish him well is an interesting thing to say about someone you just said is still your friend. You know, I thought I was going to go through the other excerpts of this book.
Sorry, guys. I'm getting a message by Donna Presley. Yeah. I tell you what, guys, and Karen as well, her assistant. Donna is definitely going to be defending Elvis and Lisa. Yeah. She is fuming about this book. Softly as I Leave You. She sees it as a pack of lies, guys, twisting the truth. Priscilla trying to reinvent history and manipulate the public, the general public, into believing a bunch of lies. She's not happy. Elvis's first cousin, Donna Presley. She's going to be posting a video or two. Please, you must go there. Donna Presley official. Please subscribe to her. Wow, she's got some backbone. But remember, she's Elvis's first cousin. She's a Presley. The Presleys are tough. Elvis had a very tough side to him. Don't underestimate Elvis. So she's messaging me now, letting me know, because obviously I fully support her. Yeah. So we've also got Ginger Alden, guys. She's not happy. She's made a very long post on her Facebook page. She's very upset with Priscilla and the things that she's saying. Okay. So there is a movement of well-known Elvis people, not just fans, not just researchers. These are people that were in Elvis's life. Of course, Donna is a first cousin. She was in his life for decades, since the late 50s. Yeah? Ginger, okay, it was a different kind of involvement because it was the last 9 months, but she was with him till the day she died. So, you know, guys, these people that loved Elvis want to defend him, want to expose Priscilla. They see through Priscilla. They see her true colours. I tell you what, Priscilla's got a battle ahead of her. If she thinks that this is a walk in the park and she's going to run around the world telling lies about Elvis and Lisa and Michael Jackson, etc., trashing people, belittling people, if she thinks she can just act as if every word that she says is complete truth, total truth, without being challenged, she's wrong. There's a lot of people that are now trashing and, oh, sorry, that's the wrong word, challenging Priscilla. Now, I'm hoping that some of these interviewers are going to start to challenge her, because of obviously we've got the Bridget Cruz stuff, the allegations there. We've also got the way that she treated Lisa, the way she went against Lisa's will, basically. You know, I'll call it a will for simplicity. Priscilla went against her own daughter's will. You know, it's a long story, but come on, the public knows something's not right with Priscilla. I also keep noticing how Priscilla's stories keep changing. They keep changing, guys. Now, I've had a voicemail from Donna Presley concerning she's very upset with what Priscilla said about opioids, almost trying to blame Elvis for Lisa's thing with opioids. Now, remember, I know that you might find this, how can I say it? If you look up opioids and you Google or do some research, right? If you go on ChatGPT, and you say, do doctors prescribe opioids as a way of, you know, soothing pain and many other things? Opioids, some opioids are prescription medication. They are there to help you. So Priscilla will act as if opioids are like for strung out drug addicts. It's not so straightforward, guys. I will go through that on my next video, because on my next video I'm going to play Donna Presley's voicemail that she sent directly to me. I asked her a question. She answered me directly in a voicemail. She wants me to share it with you guys, but not just that. She has said she's posting a very serious video defending Elvis and Lisa. Yeah. And Gracelands. There's things she wants to say about Gracelands. There's things she wants to say about who was living at Gracelands, because Priscilla has tried to say that there was only Minnie May there. Well, that ain't true, because Aunt Delta was there as well as other people. Yeah. So Donna is on a mission to defend. She's going to tell the cute stories on her channel, Donna Presley Official, but she's also going to defend. She's got some backbone, guys. She's got some balls. So don't underestimate Donna Presley. She's a Presley. Okay, guys. So that's the part 2. Let's just carry on with this. This is really a Scientology thing. Yeah. So let's just keep listening.
And I don't think that's necessary anymore. That was a very powerful segment. I don't think anybody there's not ask any ex-Scientologist, ex-staff member, ex-Sea Org member, would a Scientologist be allowed to write about Scientology in that way publicly and publicly depart Scientology while still secretly being a Scientologist? The answer you will get from every single one is hell no. Okay, so I do want to show you guys 2 short segments from my interview with Priscilla's son.
Okay, and I watched this when it came out. I was surprised he was on there.
And this is where, let me share the right page. This is where he says that he told his mom he was coming on my channel and how she responded.
Wow. Are you still close with your mom?
Close, yeah, I love my mom. Very, really, really, really close.
So about like coming on here and doing this with me is not going to create problems for you?
I told her about it. She said, "Oh, really?" She said, "You know what?" She said, "You know, I never really had a problem with that."
With
So,
what?
I never, hold on, yeah.
Scientology, I suppose. I mean, but she was one of the elites. They treated her. They didn't make her do anything with a toothbrush or lick any floors. So I don't really think she really had, you know, anything to really complain about.
I mean, this is a big deal, mind. This Aaron guy, who seems like a nice guy, managing to get Navarone on. That's a big deal. I think that's a big deal.
You know, she was treated as a very high-profile member.
Oh, I got something. It's an anecdote. It's not a bad anecdote about your mom, but it's an anecdote that if you let me know if you've heard this or if there's
Okay. I could have sworn I said, and she didn't tell you not to do it. I probably say it later. Okay, let's jump forward to the last couple minutes of this segment where he says exactly when his mom left Scientology. And it's very consistent with what Priscilla is now saying in her book.
To the best of your knowledge, when did Priscilla stop actively participating in Scientology?
When my sister told Miscavige off.
Oh, really? She's been done since then.
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of a huge deal.
Yeah.
The world does not know that.
Yeah, they should.
So, guys, I'm still getting messages from Donna Presley. I was first come. Seriously, guys, this is her video that she's uploading on her channel, Donna Presley Official on YouTube, guys. Please subscribe, yeah? Is going to cover some pretty serious stuff. There's things on here. She will rebuke drug addiction accusation. Because don't forget, Elvis was very sick, guys. Yeah? You can't just call Elvis a druggie, a drug addict, and not bring up and mention and talk about in detail how sick he was, in what pain he was, the insomnia he had, very serious colon problems, heart problems, and much, much more, guys. So Priscilla doesn't bring up the fact he was so sick. Then Donna is not happy that Priscilla is discrediting Lisa Marie. I agree. She definitely is. She's using this book. Priscilla's using this book to discredit Lisa Marie, 100%. So Donna is saying there's something concerning Minnie May. I think she say something about Minnie May? It says here. Did Priscilla say something that Minnie May was upset? She's wrong about Minnie May being the last, Dodger, isn't it, guys? Yeah? Being the last family member there. We know Aunt Delta was still there anyway. So it just seems like Priscilla's lost it a bit. She's getting all her facts wrong, and or she's just trying to rewrite history. Yeah. I think she also said it's almost like Priscilla is repainting the picture of who was there, leading up to Elvis's death and just after Elvis's death, and around when Vernon died as well. Priscilla's getting it wrong. And then there's something mentioned here about Elvis's reinterment. Yes, so a few people have been talking to me about this. She's getting those facts wrong. Yeah. And there's stuff being mentioned about, obviously, the memorial garden, the meditation garden, and the fact that I'm just reading this off, yeah? This is from Donna Presley. The demeaning of Elvis and Lisa. So Donna feels Elvis and Lisa Marie are being demeaned in this book, and I agree. So I'll tell you what, guys, watch this space. Donna Presley, some serious stuff coming up, guys. Serious stuff. I don't know if you can see there, but her name's at the top. I'm very fortunate that these people talk to me. Very fortunate. Let's keep going, guys.
Okay, if you want to see my...
There you go. So that's interesting because even Navarone said, when my sister told Miscavige off. And I think the way this all makes sense is Lisa Marie showed up to Flag, to Dave's office, intending to meet with Dave. Dave didn't show up. His sisters did. She had it out with her sisters, but she did then address Dave directly, speaking into the camera because, all these premises are under, audio and video recording at all times. And so Lisa Marie looked into the camera and said, I know you're watching Dave, and then told him off to the camera. So that's how that works.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a little bit confused why Priscilla thinks it was the sisters. I think Aaron definitely thinks it was the sisters. You'd think Priscilla would know, wouldn't you, that it was David, yeah? So do we really know the truth? Obviously, Aaron 100% believes it's the sisters, yeah? But could it have been David? Do you think David would have went and met, faced out Lisa Marie? I mean, Lisa Marie's bloody strong-minded, isn't she? She says it as it is. She doesn't beat about the bush. She's no wimp, yeah? She's a strong girl, She speaks her mind. So, was it David? Was it the sisters? Aaron 100% thinks it was the sisters. Yeah.
Okay. Something else I want to highlight. So there has been speculation, really just by pretty much one person, that Priscilla Presley's been lying about being out of Scientology because when she was doing a promo tour for something recently, she wore this necklace, and this is being identified. Oh, come on. Okay, let me, my little Zoom function doesn't want to work properly. Okay, let me get this front and center. Here we go. This necklace right here is being identified as a Scientology necklace. Look at that necklace very closely.
Oh, that's interesting. Here we go.
It does have some vague resemblance to a Scientology necklace, a Scientology symbol, because it is an 8-pointed cross. However, there are many 8-pointed crosses, and the Scientology one looks very unique, especially when it's on a necklace. And it doesn't look like this version where the you know, you have the cross and then you have what I call sort of the star, the extra 4 points. In this necklace, the star is way too big and the cross portion is way too thin. So this is
Still a bit odd though, isn't it? It's still a bit of an odd necklace.
what a Scientology symbol looks like when it's on jewelry. It's also what it looks like when it's in print, but this really shows you the obviousness. You can see the relative size of the star to the cross, and you can see the flared endpoints on the ends of the Scientology cross. That is
Pretty, you know, if this is, you know, we're learning, aren't we, guys? It's pretty fascinating. You know, I think Scientology is an absolute joke. I think the whole thing is just nuts, a cult, crazy. But I also do find it fascinating. I think a lot of people do.
how it always looks when it's on jewelry. Here's another smaller example of it. You can still see the flare, the flared ends of the Scientology cross, and you can see the relative size of the star in the middle. Now, I guess you guys can come to your own conclusions on this, but I look at this cross right here, and as someone who spent 30 years in Scientology, it doesn't even look like a Scientology cross to me. Maybe it does to others. It just doesn't look like it to me. And, you know, yeah. Priscilla Presley has left the building, folks. Priscilla Presley has finally publicly departed Scientology. And I think that's freaking awesome.
Okay, so I think we've seen enough. I'll let him play out a bit, Aaron. So thanks. You know, obviously, you don't know me. I don't know you. I don't watch Aaron's videos. I'm not. He seems like a nice guy. He believes Priscilla has left Scientology. Yeah, I don't. I think she's still got one foot in the door. Yeah, I also think that they're helping her with her fees, because I'm completely confused how she's able to afford these lawsuits. You know, these lawsuits are bloody expensive. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands, even millions to fight them. And there isn't one or two. If she's going to fight Navarrones, which she will do, because she obviously worships her son Navarrone, she's got to find this money somewhere. And I don't care what anyone says, the selling of the book, the personal appearances isn't going to cover the cost of this bloody lawsuits. These are three, actually, you could even say more, couldn't you? Because you've got the original lawsuit, you've got the counter abuse, then you've got the updated amendment, and then the extra 50 million. I know, you know, I get confused, guys. You know, this, then you've got the independent Navarrone one, and there's more coming. Yeah. So do I think Priscilla has fully left Scientology? No, I don't. No, I don't. I also think that helping her, that they are advising her and helping her. I'm just a fan in the UK, sat in his kitchen making Elvis videos. I'm no researcher. I'm just a normal person. So I could be wrong. All of my views could be bullshit and wrong. I don't agree that Priscilla has left. Priscilla has not left the building of Scientology. Just my opinion. Okay, guys, they're just going to play this and then I'm going to upload this live. I do want to learn more about Scientology. We have done Scientology topics in the past. Quite a few, actually. I'd like to discuss Lisa's time there, Riley and Benjamin's time there. We'd like to know if Riley, you know, we've heard that Riley has friends in Scientology. So does, in fact, so does, of course, Priscilla does as well. So watch this space. Let's learn.
Also, between Priscilla and her daughter, Riley, if any one of these two people are still in Scientology, it's Riley, not Priscilla. Now, I don't believe Riley is an actual active member of Scientology, but Riley has some very, very close Scientologist friends, mostly Georgie Flores.
So even with, do you know what? It's funny because, of course, I support, this is awkward for me, guys. I fully support Riley Q. But I can't, I'll be lying to you if I'm not, I am concerned with Riley's silence. I am concerned with the bit of support that Riley has shown for Priscilla. She's been very quiet about this book. Yeah. Now, I completely understand Riley's between a rock and a hard place. I also understand that many fans, Elvis fans, are concerned, are even upset with Riley. I'm getting a lot of comments, guys. People are very worried. Yeah. They feel that she supports Priscilla. The difficult thing for us, all of us, is that we must remember that Riley is Elvis's grandchild. Riley is Lisa's daughter. Lisa absolutely worshipped her kids, Riley, Finley and Harper, and of course Benjamin. She isn't going to want the Elvis fans to turn against Riley. So we have to look at Riley like almost like a member of the family that is making mistakes. We still have to be there for them. If your own family makes mistakes, you're still there for them, aren't you? So I say this, just as a fan who runs a Defending Elvis YouTube channel, give her a chance. Give her a chance. Let's let her make mistakes. Maybe she's playing the long game. Maybe Riley has other things in mind. Maybe she feels that because Priscilla is her grandmother, her blood grandmother, you know, her mother's mum, she has to find a win-win situation. She's juggling and trying to keep everyone happy. So this must be driving her mad, because Priscilla is running around the world, or going to be running around the world, promoting this book, first in America, but she's over to England next week, isn't she? I've heard Navarone is in London at the moment, Navarone, her son, which tells me she's probably on the way to London as well. I'm seeing her in Bristol if I go. Yeah, Bristol's only 20, 25 minutes from here. Very near. Yeah, I haven't made up my mind if I'm going yet. But surely that Riley is concerned about these interviews and the things that are being said, especially when Priscilla is getting her facts wrong. Yeah, she's mixing a lot of things up here, and she keeps changing her story, even concerning the day that poor Lisa died. She's getting it all wrong, and even the day after she died, the day before she died, it's a jumble. Yeah. 100%. I personally believe that now that she's 80, she's forgetful. She's mixing up her memories. I don't know if it's dementia or Alzheimer's. Call it what you want. There's definitely something not quite right. Yeah. Even the giggling, so she'll have a very serious moment and then she'll burst out giggling. I don't know, guys. But then I saw one today of her having a dance. Yeah? Have you seen that, guys? Maybe I'll play it at the end of this. I honestly, I can't figure it all out. Yeah? So it's confusing. So I'm just saying we have to stick in there for Riley. Let's give her a chance. We also have to think about Finley and Harper. You know, they're obviously getting on to 17. They're going to be young women soon, and they're going to be part of this empire, part owners of Gracelands with Riley, and they're having to watch their grandmother, who probably helped bring them up. They see her as grandmother, blood. You've got to remember, this is their blood. This is their mum's mum. Running around the world, making a bit of a fool of herself, I think. Mixing up her facts, maybe even telling lies. There's many things in this book that just don't feel right to me. So it must be difficult for them, especially when Priscilla is saying, oh, your mum didn't want to be here. She'd given up. She wanted to be dead. That must be one of the most horrific things you can ever hear from your grandmother to say about your mum, who obviously they worshipped their mum, didn't they? Finley and Harper, of course, worshipped their mum, Lisa. So to hear the grandmother saying to millions of people around the world, your mum didn't want to be here, it ain't right. It ain't right. Shouldn't be said. And I don't even believe it. I actually think that Lisa was getting better and was starting to fight back. Yes, she went through hell, of course, but eventually she started fighting back. She was coming back, guys. So it's not fair that Finley and Harper and Riley had to watch their grandmother telling the world that their mum didn't want to be here, even though they were still alive. Come on, guys. We know Lisa Marie worshipped Riley, Finley, and Harper. She wouldn't have left them and abandoned them and wanted to be dead. She would have wanted to be there for Finley and Harper and Riley. So it's horrific that Priscilla, to help sell her book, isn't that what this is about? She's trying to sell her book. She's talking about every topic you can think of, even insinuating that if her daughter Lisa had addiction, that it was because of Elvis, that she had inherited, she calls it the opioid addiction, passed down from father Elvis to daughter Lisa. It's just a joke. It's an absolute disgusting joke. She even hints that Gladys gave Elvis pills. It's just, come on, guys. Even if some of the things Priscilla is saying, if there's some truth to it, you know, like the 80 pills, I've been told now that it's in this book, yeah? Do you say it on nationwide TV to the whole of America? Do you really want to share personal, private details about the struggles that your daughter went through? Do you really want to share that to the world just so you can sell more books? You get it? This is family. It isn't, I'll do anything for money. It's your kids. Even this thing about Elvis being the love of her life and all that. Come on, guys. Are we that stupid? Are the public that dumb? If you bother to do some research, do you see what I'm saying, guys? It's just, all of it is a joke. Too much. Let's just hear what he says about Riley, then we're going to come back to a part 2.
And I think Riley is one of these people who, like her mother up until now, would never publicly say that she's out of Scientology because it would force her Scientologist friends to disconnect. But if we wanted to say that Riley was in Scientology, it's well known now that that Riley and her mom were both recently wrapped up in litigation with each other, and Scientologists aren't allowed to litigate against each other. So either, it depends on who you want to ask about this. Either both Riley and Priscilla were both Scientologists, and against Scientology rules, they were litigating against each other, which that's an option, but not true. Or Riley has been a Scientologist, and the only reason she was allowed to litigate against her mother and vice versa is because Priscilla was no longer a Scientologist, which is a possibility. Or what I believe to be the case, neither of them are Scientologists anymore. And they're allowed to litigate against each other to their heart's content, except at this point, Priscilla Presley has now publicly departed Scientology. There's no going back. And Riley is still keeping her mouth shut and playing nice and saying decent things about Scientology so that her dear Scientologist friends don't have to disconnect from her. That is the real state of affairs.
Okay. I think, you know, come on, guys. He's great, but he doesn't know. I don't know. None of us know, do we? None of us know the truth.
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to end this and I'm going to make a part 2. Part 2 is going to be called, Do You Think Elvis is the Love of her life? Priscilla Presley. Do you think Elvis is the love of her life? I've got a voicemail from Donna Presley, Elvis's first cousin. She thinks different, guys, and she is also going to discuss the way that Priscilla is giving the impression that Elvis is some strung-out drug addict, and so was Lisa. So now, remember what I said, guys. Donna Presley has got some serious stuff to say on her channel, Donna Presley Official. Okay, but she is an Elvis defender. I can't think of anyone better to defend Elvis than Donna Presley, the first cousin, and to defend Lisa. Remember, Lisa is Donna Presley's blood. Okay, guys, take care. All the best. See you soon. I'm going to upload this now. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm still learning about the Scientology. Thank you so much to Aaron. And growing up in Scientology, of course, subscribe to that channel. It's very, very good channel. Very interesting. And a lot of respect to you, my friend. I'm just a fan at home, mate. What do I know? Take care, everyone. Love you.